What's going on, guys? My name is Noah and I am on testosterone replacement therapy. I've been on testosterone replacement therapy since 2012. 2012 is when I found out I had really low testosterone levels via a couple blood draws. I was in a treatment-resistant depression. It's been an outspoken aspect of this YouTube channel since the start of the channel back in 2012. And when they found out I had low testosterone, they started me on TRT. My form of TRT was injectable testosterone. Cypionate, I've been doing it for a long time. And over the years, I've updated you guys on my blood work. And it's been a long time since I've done that. Admittedly, I've been avoiding it really hard for quite some time. Almost afraid of what I might find out. I don't know what that is in me. When they first started my TRT, they put me on 400 milligrams every 2 weeks. And then they lowered that to 200 every week. And then they lowered that over time based on blood work, symptom relief, side effect profile, or whatever. They lowered that down to 180, then 160, then 120. And then I got spooked and asked, can we at least go to 140? I definitely am one of those people that, because getting my testosterone regulated after it was so low for so long, and I was in a treatment-resistant depression with a bunch of other psychiatric issues for so long, I was really scared to go down on my dose. To me, starting to find a foothold in this world after clinical depression for a couple years was directly correlated to getting my hormones balanced and elevated, my testosterone. And so my doctor agreed at 140, and we've just been there for a really long time. And I just sort of left it there. I haven't really wanted to look. I haven't really wanted to know. I don't think I've wanted to know where it's at. It's there. It's a safe space for me. But in an effort to be more responsible, in an effort to be more honest with myself, I certainly knew that it was time. You know, I'm one of those people that believes that if you're going to be on TRT, then you need to make sure you know where your levels are for your total T, your free T, how it's affecting your estrogen, and yeah, you should check your blood work. There are certain risks associated with elevated testosterone, just like there are health risks associated with low testosterone. And so anyway, I went ahead and finally did that. I did it a while ago, and the results were not what I would have wanted. Some of you guys called it. I was in a bit of denial, but I'm gonna own it right now. I've been over-medicated. I don't know if, I mean, based on old blood work, I feel like I shouldn't be, the numbers I'm about to share with you, they shouldn't be this high based on old blood work, but I'm starting to think that my unhealthy lifestyle from previous years on TRT, where I was just much heavier, I was definitely sleeping worse, I wasn't working out as much, I was eating more freely. I was just eating a lot of junk food, a lot of processed food, a lot of sugar. Anyway, I'm wondering if that was part of the reason that my TRT levels, my total T and my free T weren't as elevated as they have become on 140 milligrams every week. Now, I can say this with all certainty, which gives me some sense of pride. I've never abused the dose that I've agreed upon with my doctor. So 140 is exactly what I've been on, and what I decided to do was I decided to get my blood drawn on the morning of day 4. Morning of day 4. So I pin every Thursday in my outer left quadrant of my thigh, my left leg. And on day 4, the morning of, to me that was like a midway point, and ideally that would be the highest that I was gonna get for any given week. My hope was that, even though I imagined I'd be peaking about then, right? Because I'm taking 140, so I'm gonna ride up the mountain a little bit, peak around day 3, 4, and then start coming down for my trough day, which is the day I pin, my lowest point. I was hoping I would be a little high. I mean, I'm okay with being a little bit high. There's nothing wrong with that, especially if you pin once a week, that would make sense. I didn't think I'd be this high. My total testosterone was 1,523. 1,523. Now, the range that this particular lab has, and that's nanograms per deciliter, the range this lab has is from 250 to 1,100 nanograms per deciliter. So I'm a few hundred over the top of the range at my peak. I might have hoped that would be a bit lower, maybe around 1,100, 1,200. That would have been totally fine by me. 1,500 was like, shit, crap. I didn't mean for it to get that high. Oh, by the way, we're gonna go over what my blood work was on my trough day as well. But the real kicker was my free testosterone, my bioavailable testosterone. The testosterone that I believe could be most associated with a lot of the physical manifestations of being on T, perhaps. My free testosterone, and the range for this is 35 to 155, I believe, picograms per ml, was 520. Now, if any of you guys know anything about anabolic steroids, testosterone replacement therapy, hormone replacement therapy, no man would ever naturally be at 520. Like I said, the top of that range is 155, and I'm at 520. So I'm effectively three times, a little bit more than 3 times higher than the highest possible natural range, which means I'm over-medicated, which means I knew what that meant. That meant I needed to lower my dose. And like I said, I found a lot of my identity and my worth and my security and my value, and I associate a lot with being on TRT. Coming from the dangerous place I was in physically when I found out that I had 100. Check this out. Actually, sorry, shit's popping in my head. So my total T was 1500, right? My total T when I was first diagnosed with low T was 150. 150 was my total testosterone, 10 times less than this. So, and I think my free T was like 10 or something like that. I had an issue. So anyway, I got this blood work back. I ordered it myself, through my doctor's website. I got this blood work back. I saw that shit and I was just like, oh no. I was like, he's gonna have to lower me. And then I kept telling myself, like, that's okay. That's healthy. I want to be healthy. I want to be optimal. It's all good. I'm gonna do that. And then I froze. And I've had these lab results for about 4 months. I've known this for about 4 months, and I was just afraid. I was afraid to lower my dose. I've been kind of exploring what that's all about. Why would I be afraid to do that? And I had to come to terms with the fact that, of course, the mental side of things is everything. That the mental relief, the vitality, the help with sleep, appetite, all that stuff. That was priority number one. Naturally, if any of you have ever been clinically depressed or dangerously anxious, you're trying to figure that out, and I did figure that out in a lot of ways. But the next great thing is that you physically feel well. You're able to build muscle. You're able to burn fat more effectively, and there's a sense of pride that comes with that. So training, working out, being fit, it's just a big part of me identifying with myself in a positive way. And so I think, and I don't even feel embarrassed to admit this so much as it's just like, damn, like maybe I'd hoped I'd evolved past this at this age, but the idea of having to lower my testosterone made me afraid of like, well, would I still be me? Would I still be big no-no? I still want to be strong. I still want to be fit. I just kind of spooked myself a little bit. And I even think there was a little bit of shame that came over me about my numbers being that high, because I want to be an advocate for just doing the next right thing for yourself. And that's no judgment on anyone who's on, let's just say, running gear or on high TRT. High TRT, in my opinion, to be like 200 milligrams a week or more. I don't think you're necessarily TRT anymore, but maybe. But the point is, you're probably going way past physiological levels, and good for you, right? And if I was really down with this, by the way, if I was like, no, I want to be really high, and my doctor thought that was okay, which is really where the kicker would be, no doctor would, then fine, but I don't want to be over. I want to be optimal. I'm down with my testosterone being high, not this high, not like this. High normal, not high holy crap. And so I've had to come to terms this last stretch of months with like the fact that I'm gonna have to lower. I'm probably going to lose some size, and I guess that mattered to me more than I was willing to admit. I like being the size I'm at. I feel confident at this size. I just feel good, but I don't want. I want to feel good beyond that. I want to feel good from in here and in here. And I want my body, and I do take pride and comfort in the idea that my body's going to be whatever it was supposed to be, and I'll continue to work hard in the gym and just be grateful for the health I have. And so this is like the running dialogue I've been partaking in. So anyway, that was my blood work in the middle of the week. This whole thing was supposed to happen with my doctor, and then when it was time to film, he just didn't feel up for it. It just wasn't his day, and I have to, of course, respect that. So let's take a look a few days later. So we are now on my trough day, which is the morning I would normally go ahead and do my weekly injection. We're checking my blood work just before I would take my next dose. And let's start with TRT, because obviously that matters the most. My total testosterone was 747 on the morning of the 8th day, or just after 7 full days. 747, again, the range is 250 to 1100. Cool, I'm not surprised with that. But my free T is 165. Again, that range is 35 to 155. So if on 140 milligrams a week, which is what I take, my free T on the morning of, but essentially day 8, the morning of the first day I would pin, is still over the normal range, I'm clearly taking too much. I'm clearly taking too much. And I'm going to tell you what we're doing about this, by the way. I will, of course, tell you exactly what my doctor and I decided we would change and how we would change it going forward. So that's my testosterone levels. I guess the only thing that would be worth letting you guys know is that every other part of my blood work was completely great. It was completely normal. My estradiol levels, I guess I understand that one just enough. They were 26, and the top of the range is 39, so they were great. And I think that's because I just live a pretty clean lifestyle. And I definitely noticed back in the day when my estrogen was higher, my estradiol was higher, it was because I was just way heavier. I was way heavier, and my doctor could better explain why that is. Otherwise, all my blood work was normal. I met with my doctor, we spoke, we looked over his blood work. He asked me kind of like what my goals were. Did I understand what was happening? I was like, yes, I loosely understand what's happening. My goals are to be healthy. My goals are to have integrity. My goals are to like the person I see in the mirror. And now that I have the data, I can't hide from it anymore, and I need to put aside my fear, my ego, and I'm willing to change. And so he is switching me from 140 down to 100. So we're cutting it from 140 to 100, but we are also now going to be pinning twice a week. Ego aside, I'm excited to be where I'm supposed to be. I'm willing to do what I believe is the right thing to do to optimize my mental health, my physical health, and then my sense of self. So we're gonna switch it to 50 milligrams on Thursday and 50 milligrams on Sunday. I don't necessarily like the idea of pinning twice, but it only takes a couple minutes. And I'd be shocked if doing that, if we jumped out of the normal range. I'd be absolutely shocked. From everything I've read and learned over the years on TRT, 100 milligrams a week is like, I don't know anyone that goes lower than that. That's like the lowest you can get. Now, the other thing that we are thinking about doing is we're going to do this for a little bit, maybe a month or two. We're gonna recheck blood work. I will be transparent on here about that. But then we're also going to be introducing Clomid, and there's a fair chance that I would like to try to have kids. And I don't know that if I've shut down that signal for too long, but we're gonna try. And I need to get off of testosterone, or at least introduce something that's gonna wake up my natural production, if that's even a thing in terms of fertility. And then we're gonna start me on vitamin D, and I'm gonna talk about some other supplements in a different video. But there you go, long-winded. I knew it would be, because I just feel like I needed to process this with you guys. But for those of you that have been pretty patiently waiting, like, where's the blood work? Are you gonna be transparent? Thank you for waiting. Excuse me for just withholding this for so long. I've just been insecure about it a bit. I've been a bit insecure about it, but I feel good having finally said it. I think it's gonna give me the steam to go ahead and make this change and find some peace about it, and let the cards lay where they may lay. Maybe I'll feel a little bit better with my TRT being a little bit more in the normal range. High normal is my hope, but normal nonetheless. Okay. And then also on the side note, I won't feel like I have any sort of competitive advantage like I've kind of felt like I've had since I found out I was so high doing CrossFit. Granted, I'm not competing for anything, but it would just still feel good to know. It would still feel good to know, because I work really hard in that, and I take a lot of pride in that. So we'll let you guys know how that's going, and we'll do another life update soon. But thank you for your time. If you don't know what your blood work is, by the way, and you're worried, you're experiencing mental health or physical health issues, go look up the symptom side effect profile of low T. Consider getting your blood work done. It's pretty easy. Just ask your doctor for that blood work, and or you can go to these online websites and you can just order it. And that's all I got. So thank you for allowing me to continue to share my journey with you guys. It sure means a lot to me. I look forward to reading your comments. I learned so much from you guys, more from you guys than I could ever possibly imagine when I first started this channel. And we'll just see where life takes me from here. All right, my name is Noah. Adios, guys.